Hello, everyone. This is Independent Conservative. Thank you all for joining me once again. So I went on and did it. I subjugated myself to watching 15 minutes of rapper Kendrick Lamar. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Please forgive me, anyone, if I butchered his name or disrespect him anyway. Don't. It's all good. Okay. Do his Super Bowl 25 halftime show and performance. And so I subjugated myself to 15 minutes of observing and listening. Now, I could not give a honest opinion about his performance if I didn't watch the video, if I didn't watch the performance, okay? I couldn't give an honest opinion. And I have heard a lot and I've looked up a lot. I had to do some research on what the beef is all about between, supposedly Drake and all this type of stuff he was talking about with Drake and Drake being a child, and all of this. And look, I had to look up some of that stuff to get the background of what's going on. But that's not what I want to address in this video. I don't want to address any beef he had with Drake. I don't want to address any of that. I have my own opinions on the whole aura of what this performance is pushing, in my opinion. Okay, but yeah, I subjugated myself to 15 minutes of analysis, if you will, of listening to this guy, doing his thing. Okay, now let me preface this video with this. I've been known to say this about modern rap, that I don't like modern rap music. I don't like modern hip hop, okay? But let me preface this video by saying that I don't hate all of modern rap, okay? I don't hate all of modern hip hop, okay? I don't hate it all. Some of it I like. Some songs, very few, that I have heard in passing and even have decided to listen to on my own. Like I said, I think I mentioned this in a previous video, Offset, his song, Clout. I really liked Clout. I really like that song. I like the beat. I like the lyrics. I like it. Yes, it's cool. Okay. I got the point. I got it. So I don't want to be too dogmatic about modern hip hop. It is very, very, very popular. Although for reasons that hopefully I'm going to get into in the gist of this video that I don't think is for the right reasons. But yeah, so I subjugated myself to listening to this halftime show. And I'm pretty sure most of you guys probably don't care about my opinion on it whatsoever. I mean, because I don't have a big platform or whatever, and I get that. But hey, it's my opportunity to talk. I can do it. Hey, I have freedom of speech. Whether 2 or 3 people watch this video, it don't matter to me. It's just my opinion, and it is what it is. But first of all, let me just point out the fact that in comparison to other halftime shows that I have watched, I watched ones with what was it, Destiny's Child many years ago, and that one was okay. It was okay. It was pretty cool. But I don't like Destiny Child that much anyway, but I try to get past liking someone. I try to look at the performance, and the performance was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I saw bits and clips of Prince's performance. I actually went back and watched his performance. That was awesome. Oh my God, that was absolutely incredible. I watched excerpts of Michael Jackson's Super Bowl, so that one was pretty. That was really awesome. The one Beyonce did a few years ago where she was wearing all yellow, I forget what they call that one. That was okay. It was okay. This performance by Kendrick Lamar, now I'm just judging the performance itself until I start getting into the meat of what I want to really talk about. But in terms of being able to understand what the man was saying, I couldn't understand hardly anything he was saying at all. I mean, a few little words I tried to listen to, but I couldn't. I thought he was speaking in tongues. I mean, I couldn't understand what it started off with him standing on a car and all this. Oh, man, whatever. And I'm not just saying that because other people have watched the halftime show and have made the comment that they couldn't understand anything he was saying. I couldn't understand anything he was saying. I couldn't understand anything he was saying, you know? So it was like, and okay, and I'm like, okay, all right, I get it, you know. The dance numbers, I've seen better, man. I wasn't impressed with this at all. I really wasn't impressed with this in terms of a halftime show. It seemed like to me the audience wasn't all that impressed with it either because I didn't hear that much screaming, you know, or shouting. Every now and then, you know. And then they had Samuel L. Jackson on it. Now, like I said, I don't know Kendrick Lamar's record chronological. I don't know any of his songs, so I'm not here. And let me say this: I'm not here to judge his career, his type of music, or any of that because I don't know his career. I don't know his type of music. I don't know his style. Some people say he's more of a conscious rapper, a socially conscious rapper. Okay, whatever. So I'm not here to judge his music. So I want anybody saying on the comment box, well, you ain't never listened to his music. How can you judge what? I'm not talking about his other music. I don't care. Look, I don't know anything about his other music. I'm talking about the halftime performance. He could have a catalog. He could have 800 Grammys. That has nothing to do with the halftime performance and whether or not I was entertained or not. So I'm judging the halftime performance, and what I'm saying is this halftime performance, NFL halftime performance was mediocre at best. The dancing was okay. I mean, it wasn't all that great to me. And then they had Samuel L. Jackson. I don't know what that was about. He had him dressed in red, white, and blue, dressed up with his hat on, with the red, white, and blue, and some kind of shirt or something. And I'm like, and every now and I think like 2 or 3 times, Samuel L. Jackson would come in with an interlude and say, come on, man, and do this better than you. And I'm paraphrasing, do this better than, because I had to endure this stuff. For me, it was really hard. But come on, man, you can do better than that. Now, this is during the first set. Samuel L. Jackson comes out and says, come on, man, you can do better than that, right? Along that line. So the next session, if you will, it's like, he does a little few dancing, hard, tight little dance things. And then all of a sudden, it's like, okay, it's no different than the first set. In other words, he didn't do anything to amp up the second set as compared to the first set. So if Samuel L. Jackson comes out and says, man, you can do better than that, woo, 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 and you come out with the second set and you doing no different than the first set, I'm like, come on, man. I thought he was going to do something like real banging, like. And all it was the dancers formatted themselves in a different way. That's all they did. They formatted themselves in a different way. It wasn't much different than the first set. When he first was sitting on the car, like they were stooping on the car like this. It was, I mean, what, I'm like, come on, man. That's not impressed. I wasn't impressed with that. Okay. Yeah. So that right there, I wasn't impressed with that at all. Now, here's the thing that got me. Towards the end of the performance, they had Serena Williams come out there, Crip walking. Okay. Now, first I'm going to make a judgment call on the Crip walk. Like I said, I'm not, but I have seen it. Have you guys watched any of these TikTok videos? I've watched TikTok videos where they was playing a song, and I have seen Indians, in my opinion, do the Crip walk better than Serena Williams did. I don't know what that was. Okay. Now, I'm not praising the Crip walk. I'm about to, get into that in a minute. But I'm like, what was all that? That was supposed to be the Crip? I don't know. I mean, I've seen it done way better by Snoop Dogg. I've seen it done way better by Indians who practice it on TikTok videos better than she did. So I don't know what that was. But apparently what I found out was that there's some kind of what made this Crip walk that Serena Williams did so distasteful was the fact that her older sister was taken out in a drive-by shooting by the Crips. And for her to get up here and do a Crip walk, it was kind of like a smack in her face, you know. And it's like, see, this is where I'm going to start getting into the real critique of the bigger picture aspect, because this disturbs me. Now, this is supposed to be Black History Month, right? This is supposed to be Black History Month. Why is it that we as black people or black performers have to promote and push so much negative aspects of black culture? The Crip walk is a gang thing. It's what the Crips do. It's a gang. It's a gang thing, okay? And you are up here on stage doing this Crip walk before millions of people watching. And in an indirect way, what that is doing is promoting a negative aspect of black culture. Next thing you know, like I said earlier, you got Indians doing the Crip walk on videos. Indians doing the Crip. Come on, man. Why would they be doing that? Why would Indians, people from freaking Indonesia, be doing the Crip walk? Because it's promoted by the record studios and others, and pushed and promoted and pushed and promoted and pushed and promoted. It isn't because people in India want to know what the Crip walk is. That's not what it is. That's not what it is. It's because of the promotion and marketing of this negative aspect of black culture. That's what I'm PISSED'd at. Okay? When they push and promote this negative aspect of black culture, when this is supposed to be Black History Month, and we're supposed to be, from what I understand, celebrating the positives of black culture and black history. You mean to tell me this is all we know? You mean to tell me all we know is gang signs? Is that it? You mean to tell me that's all we good for? I get so sick and tired of walking down the street, man, or getting on the elevator and people from other ethnic groups looking at me some kind of way. Bro, do I look like a gang member? Well, I don't know. It's black I got on now, but still, you know, I like black. That has nothing to do with a gang member or anything like that. I just like black. But do I look like, I mean, am I portraying myself as a gang member? I mean, what's up with that, man? And I think a lot of this comes from the stuff that is marketed and promoted by the mainstream media and by record companies to make sales, in part to make sales. You think about the whole record industry as a whole, right? I mean, you kind of look, if you really look at the record industry as a whole, and you look back at the different forms of music that have become popular, why do a lot of music, in terms of music genres, become popular? Is it because people just fell in love with the music? Or is it because this music is promoted and pushed so much that people begin to accept it as the normal music, if you will? Okay? And they start to adopt to it and start liking it. If you go all the way back to the early 1900s, when jazz music first formed, right? Jazz music, believe it or not, jazz music was considered risque music because they would play those old jazz songs. I'm talking about from the early 1900s, 1920s, 1930s. They would play these those old jazz songs and so forth in parties or clubs, venues and so forth. They would play those old jazz songs, and people would be dancing and just going wild and so forth. And many critics were saying, man, this is the downfall of our society. But why was it considered that way? Because jazz, as it began to grow, the record labels, if you will, began to grab hold of it, and they began to promote it and push it, whether for revenue or whatever. And it became the popular music. It became the popular music. It didn't necessarily become the popular music because everybody was like, oh, I want to say, oh. It became the popular music because it was marketed to everyone. Everyone began to listen to it. You had some people liking it, and you had some people not liking it. But unfortunately, most of the public, because most of the public they're not really into really analyzing things. Most of the public, I mean, I hate to say, but most of the public has been kind of they're kind of, they live in a matrix. They live in a matrix, a world created for them. So when you're living in a world that's created for you by outside forces, okay, the entertainment industry, politics, the so-called educational system, and they create this matrix for you, then whatever they throw into that world, you will accept it as normative. And most people were that way, and they're that way now. So they don't analyze the music. They don't think about the lyrics. They don't think about what's being pushed. They just look at it and say, hey, this is really cool, you know. Okay, so you start fast forwarding, right? Same thing with rock and roll. It was marketed as a pop music. It became popular music then. Not because it was the greatest music in the world. Not because the lyrics are so awesome and great and technically advanced. No. It was promoted. It was marketed as that. A lot of rock and roll music was very negative, particularly in that time. Very sexually provocative, believe it or not. We look at it now and it's kind of tame in comparison to the mess we got now. But back then it was risque. People like Elvis Presley, when he would gyrate his hips and stuff, that was considered, in the 1950s, that was considered extremely sexual. And it put a lot of parents off when their kids would be listening to Elvis Presley sing. But it was marketed and pushed upon the children, marketed and pushed upon the public. The British invasion. You had, particularly in the 1960s, the Beatles. The songs they sung. They were huge. But how did they become so huge? Was it because their music was the greatest music in the world? No. They were promoted and marketed as the greatest band in the world. They were promoted that way. They were pushed that way. Listen to the lyrics of the songs. She loves me, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves me. Really? She loves me, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's great lyrics. That's the popular stuff like that. It's not because the music is so technically advanced and the lyrics are so awesome. It's because it's marketed and promoted that way and becomes mainstream. Start moving more up. Hip hop was an underground industry, so to speak, particularly in the 1970s, early 1970s. But one particular man, I forget who this person's name was. White dude had a big mustache and a long beard. I think he had a puffy beard. He was like, when rap music was starting, it was still young, but he was like, I'm paraphrasing words. He says, this is the new rock and roll. He said, this is the new rock and roll. He saw the bigger picture with rap music. Now, that doesn't mean that rap music was just terrible, terrible, terrible. I don't think it was. A lot of it I liked. Okay, I wasn't a fan of it, but a lot of it I did like. Okay, but he saw it as the new rock and roll, and being someone who was a part of a music studio that could promote and push the music to make it that way, he understood that concept. Now look at it. It's all over the place. Hip hop / rap music is all over the place. Just like everybody is singing it. People from Korea are singing it. All kinds of people, Chinese people sing, all kinds of people singing rap songs or doing hip hop. Is it because it's so awesome and so great? I don't think so. I think it's because it's marketed and promoted that way. Unfortunately, because it came or originated with blacks, okay, it has become now where the music studios have taken the negative aspects of black culture, okay, the negative aspects of black culture, and they have promoted it and pushed it all over the globe, and it gives people the impression that this is how black people are in general. We'll sing your music, we'll buy your songs, but we will not treat black people with any real dignity and respect, because after all y'all doing is crip walking and carrying on, and that's the cool thing to do now. Why would anyone from another ethnic group treat black people with dignity and respect when we don't even respect ourselves? We on stage in a halftime show doing the crip walk. It's a gang thing. Unbelievable, man. This is not Black History Month. It's negative Black Culture Month. That's what this is. That's what this is. I said it in the last video. I'll say it here. This is not Black History Month, man, the way I'm seeing it. It's Black Negative Culture Month. That's what this is. And so that's what my take is on this Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl halftime show. It was mediocre at best. I was not impressed. And I had seen and heard from other people talking about it. And I was like, well, I can't give a real judgment call on it unless I subjugate myself to listening to it and watching it myself. And I'm amazed that I sat through that stuff. I really mean, it was hard, man. It was hard for me, man. It was hard for me. But I did it. And that's my take on it. Okay? That's my take on it. It was mediocre. But I wanted to speak out on mostly the whole concept of what this is actually pushing and promoting. And let me start summing the video up on this. The bigger audience is the white audience. They are the bigger audience. Now, I'm going to be real with you. I don't believe, in my opinion, that a vast majority of white people want to hear this kind of stuff. I don't believe that. They put up with it because to not put up with it and not deal with it, they probably think they don't want to be accused of being racist. So they put up with it. That's just my word on it. But that's my take on it. What do you guys think? Leave your comments in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe to my channel. God bless you all. See you again.